Hi, I'm Lisa from sewnlife.com, and in this video I would like to show you some sewing projects to make. And they're all really simple projects, and there are tutorials on my sewing channel for every one of the projects. And the first one is probably one of the easiest. This is for a zip pouch. So it's got no lining, it's got lining but it's got no interfacing, so it's a very sort of soft pouch. It's got a zip, so it's lined on the inside. It's perfect to keep your bits and bobs in it, or makeup, jewellery, anything, toiletries, anything you want to really. It's a really simple project and you can put it together quite quickly. So that's the first one. The second one is this fabric organiser. So it's in the shape of a bag and it's got boxed bottom, which means that it sits nicely on a flat surface. So it's lined inside, so you can put a nice contrast colour lining in there. And I've made it with fabric handles, but you could equally make it with some kind of webbing for the handles if you wanted to, and that would make it easier. Would just be one less thing that you'd have to make. It's got a little bit of interlining in there to give it a bit of stability. It's great. It's a great piece for storing anything you want. I've had wool and knitted needles stored in here, and then I've had my sewing items stored in here. So it's great. It's really versatile, and there is a tutorial on my channel showing you how to make that. So that's the second thing. So the third thing is this little purse. So this is a coin purse. It's got a little popper here, and then it's got these little compartments. Okay, so it's really cute. It looks very fancy, but actually it's really simple. So the tutorial shows you how to do it. A lot of it is to do with how you do the folding. So a lot of it is just folding. It's lined inside, so you can put a nice contrast lining, which makes it fun. And although I've used a popper, you don't have to use a popper. You could use Velcro or a button or a press stud or anything like that. I've made this in cotton, but I've also made one in denim. I think I gave that one to my husband. I've made quite a few of these actually, because they're just a really cute little gift to give people. My husband uses it for when he's traveling actually, so it's very sweet. The next is this is actually a set. So this is 3 separate drawstring bags. So they're reusable bags, so you can make them as the present itself, or you can make the present and put the present in the bags. So I've made them in 3 different sizes. So this is the large, and then this is the medium, and then there's a small one. So what I've done for these is I've made them slightly different. So this is all in one fabric, and then if you can see the drawstring I've made in a slightly complementary fabric. So that's the design for that one. And then on this second one I have, which is the medium one, what I've done on that one is I have also done that I've done the fabrics the opposite way round, if you can see, for those two. So I've just got 2 different types of fabrics and I've swapped them over for that, so for the drawstring. And then for this small little baby one, what I've done here is I've actually done a little panel at the bottom as well. So I've used the same 2 fabrics, but this bottom section I've just made in the complementary fabric. So this drawstring channel and the bottom section are both in the complementary fabric. I've just used cord to pull them up. I mean, you could use ribbon or anything else that you wanted to. And they do all have a contrast lining as well, so they're fully lined. Now, what I've done, because I've done sort of quite a pattern on the outside, what I've done for my lining is just make it very plain. Now, what I do for linings is quite often I will just use fabrics from charity shops. I think this was possibly even from a pillowcase. I try to get fabrics from anywhere. I get a lot of things from fabric shops. I like to look in sort of bins at fabric shops where they have like reduced fabric. So I just buy fabric as and when I see it, and then I just keep it for whenever the time comes really. So those are the reusable drawstring bags. Then I've got here these baskets, which are really cute. I really like them. I've done again 3 different sizes, so small, medium and large. These are so simple, really simple, but I think that they look really effective. So what it is it's just 2 circles of fabric, and then there's a bit of wadding inside and interfacing, and then literally you just pinch the edges and sew down the edges, and it just gives it this real sort of cute, almost spider web design. Now I made these in Halloween fabric around Halloween time, but obviously you can make them in whatever size you like. They are really sweet to just put little bits of, I mean, you can put anything in them. I think I put chocolates in them because they were Halloween, but you can sit them on the table and you could put anything in them. They're just very, very sweet. I really like them. On to the next ones. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, hopefully you have, but if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe so you'll get notified. Put on your notifications as well, and then you'll get notified of all my videos. That would be lovely. Right, on to some more items. The next one is a little pouch. So this is a zip pouch. The difference with this one is that it's actually got these little zip tabs at the end. These are fantastic. I absolutely love zip tabs. They're really, really easy to make, and they just give a very, very professional finish. What they do is they allow the zip to finish off in a really nice way, and they actually make it easier. Some people struggle with zips, but actually it makes it really, really easy. Check out my tutorial for this one. They've all got tutorials, but just have a special look at how to do these zip tabs. It's lined inside, so I tend to, if I have a fabric with a pattern on the outside, I then tend to make sure that the inside is plain, or sometimes I'll do like a little spotty pattern, but I don't tend to do two really, really bright patterns. Although saying that, I'm thinking the one I've got coming up next has got two bright patterns. So I suppose it just depends how you feel on the day. Anyway, so that's got plain, and then what it's got is it's got boxed corners at the bottom. And what that means is that it allows it to sit flat on the surface like that. So it's different to the first one because it's got a wadding and it does sit flat. Another couple, similar again, this has interlining, but I haven't used a wadding on this one, so it's a little bit flatter, not as sort of like soft. But again, it's got these zip tabs, so brilliant, love these zip tabs. And then what I was thinking, which contradicts what I said about contrasting fabrics, I have put a very bright coloured fabric inside that one. So you've got, but I just think I bought these together. I bought this fabric ages ago, both of these, and I've sort of had it sitting around for ages, not knowing what to do with it. And then I've used it on this zip pouch, and I think it's worked really, really well. So you can make it whatever size you like. I just thought this was a good basic size. You can keep makeup in here. You could do it as a bigger size and have it as sort of like a wash bag and fit more toiletries in it, but I just decided to go for that size, and then I made one slightly smaller, same design, plain fabric in there, lining. So it's exactly the same tutorial with the zip tabs. So that's a really nice one to do for a present. I've got two bags here. So these are great presents because everybody uses a bag. This is a very, very basic bag. It has got no lining, so it's just the fabric. So it doesn't use up as much fabric as if it would be lined. It's got shorter handles, so the handles are made out of the same fabric as the body. The handles are slightly shorter, so if you wanted to, you could extend it. This is a great bag to sort of take with you for if you're going shopping and you've got like a bag of bags. So you don't have to use the plastic bags all the time. So you can always be using your homemade ones. So I've made this in a plain fabric. It would be also nice in a very pretty fabric. What I've done here is you can see at the sides, so down here and then also on the bottom, I've boxed it, which means that it sits flat and it actually has a little bit more shape. So it means that it has a bit more depth, it has that depth to it, and you can fit more in. That's a really cute bag, and everybody, if you make that for a present, that's, you know, these are the kinds of presents that I'm showing you that everybody will use. Because you want to make a present that somebody is going to actually use rather than just say, oh, that's nice, and then never use it. So these are the kind of things that people will use. And this is a basic, I mean, this is the most basic tote bag. So this is literally just two pieces of fabric, and then you can see here that I've used webbing for the handle. So I haven't even made the handles here, and then this is just stitched on here in a sort of cross shape. So there's no lining, it's just very, very simple. And this is the kind of thing that you could, you know, you could make loads of these. And these are really nice for a present, and they're actually really nice if you want to make that and then put another present inside it as well. So they're a lovely present, and they're the kind of thing, again, that will be used by people. So a really good, useful present that people will really appreciate. Another bag, this is slightly different, slightly more to it than the last one, because this one's got lining. So this is, I've made this as a bigger bag. So I've given it big handles, long handles, and it's lined. So I've given it a plain lining. This is more of a grocery shopper but again, this is something that everybody is going to use. I've also boxed it at the side, so can you see at the side it's got a panel there, and also at the bottom, which means that it will sit flat. So if it's filled up, so if you're using it for groceries or in your car, it will sit flat. And the other thing that it does is it actually has a little holder that it folds away into. So this folds up and it goes into this little holder, which has a popper, so it pops shut. You don't have to use a popper if you haven't got anything to make the poppers with. So you can use Velcro, or you can use a button or custard or anything like that. So that's a really, really nice gift. But like I say, a little bit more to that than the previous one, because there are more steps and you'll be using more fabric for that one. I've shown you 10 really nice ideas here for sewing. Each of them has a tutorial on my channel, like I said. So I'll list them all below. Make sure that you pick the one that you like the most, and then go to the tutorial, watch the tutorial and make it from there, and then come back and make some more. So thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.